We'll say this, and I think it'll surprise people. The fact that his bond...
Hold on, sir.
What's
I have to stop you with the camera because I can see you. So do me a favor, don't pull it out again.
And The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. Mm-hmm. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and the was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Yeah, broke-ass Bette.
Tyrus just did what no one else dared to do. He called out The View, and even Whoopi Goldberg wasn't safe. It was like seeing a sumo wrestler crash a quiet tea party and flip the table. Things turned heated, petty, and hilarious all at once. You won't believe what he said or how Whoopi reacted. Grab your snacks, because this one's pure chaos mixed with comedy. But really, did Tyrus just end The View with a single comment?
Remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
But where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step during this.
Tyrus, the weird thing about The View was that Dylan Mulvaney was the most feminine person there.
Yes, he was. Somebody.
Before we move on, hit that like button and subscribe, because you definitely don't want to miss this. The day began like any other on The View. 5 women talking over each other, coffee mugs shaking, and Whoopi Goldberg sitting there like she's seen it all before. You could almost hear the drama warming up before the cameras rolled. Then came Tyrus. Not in person, but his words hit the studio harder than a truth bomb in an echo-filled room.
But it's only in America. Can a black person sit on a TV show getting paid millions and millions of dollars to have the floor and can say, it can interrupt people, because she interrupted her.
Yeah.
And if according to her, life was like in Iran, it was for black people, her interrupting and speaking in public would have led to a stoning.
Yeah.
Like the ignorance, you live in a country where you might feel a certain way, but here's the one thing about America that makes it different than anyone else. You have an opportunity, even as dumb as the
He didn't yell. He didn't roll his eyes. He just did what Tyrus always does best, quietly broke down the chaos in the calmest voice, like he was ordering lunch. The man gave off serious, not impressed energy, and that's exactly what The View couldn't handle. Because when Tyrus speaks, he doesn't run after drama. He makes it chase him.
Them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being attacked. So the problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And if the CEO goes, you know what? I'm not going to allow a woman on my show, or man, that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day.
And The View did chase him, like a bad idea that just wouldn't stop. That show has built its empire on cutting people off, contradicting each other, and pretending they've discovered the truth every weekday. It's less of a talk show and more like a verbal wrestling match, with more caffeine and fewer clear thoughts.
She has an opportunity tomorrow. They won't fire her over that. No. She'll have an opportunity tomorrow to come on and fix it. Will she? She won't. But that's the thing about this country. Black, white, gay, straight, short, tall. Everyone's going to get hit with something, but the beauty about this country is there's always an opportunity for you to better yourself. So shame on you, Whoopi. Play the black card somewhere else, because don't work here in America.
Yeah. You know the irony?
Then there's Whoopi, the calm referee in the middle of all the madness. She stays cool until someone says something she doesn't like. Then suddenly, her calm disappears, and it's full judgment mode. She gives that look, the one that says, you're about to regret what you just said.
And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day, that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, you know, Emily. Could you imagine yourself on The View as like taking that job? Let's say they find something really ugly in your past, you get fired from Fox. That could happen, by the way. No. I never burned those photos. But I mean, could you do that?
I get very sensitive.
Tyrus saw right through it. He called out with that confident, amused grin, like someone who already knows every move before it happens. He pointed out how The View can switch from preaching unity to causing division faster than you can say commercial break.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a...
No yelling, no drama, no overacting, just humor and truth sharp enough to cut through the noise. While The View's panel probably saw themselves as wise voices, Tyrus treated their self-importance like a bad comedy skit. He leaned back and basically said, really? This is what passes as conversation now. The irony is, The View claims to be the voice of reason, but every episode feels more like a group chat gone wild. And when Tyrus exposed that it wasn't just funny, it was spot on. He compared them to people who love debate, as long as everyone agrees. They call it discussion until someone disagrees. Then it becomes dangerous talk. He didn't need to spell out. His tone said everything. That's why he's a threat to shows like The View. He doesn't play along. He doesn't want claps. He just tells the truth, so dry it burns. People joke that Tyrus did more with one calm line than a season of shouting. Whoopi, of course, wasn't happy. But the problem with arguing with Tyrus is you can't guilt someone who doesn't care about nonsense.
I love... Whoopi's right. I mean, it's been rough for us. I mean, you saw what just happened to me in the last segment. I'm trying to talk, and all the white people are like, it's Tyrus. I can make a phone call. You know? And it's...
How did that make you feel?
I felt very black.
Did you feel black?
Yeah,
it's worth Tyrus. Malice just started snapping
By the way,
his fingers for you.
Thank God black people don't do that in audiences.
Yes, yeah. No, we just talk the whole time and tell you how to do your show better.
Tyrus carries that veteran confidence. He's been around too long to take TV drama seriously. It's like he's saying, you can't cancel me. I already left the chat. And that drives Whoopi crazy. Her attitude stayed the same. Half boss, half tired teacher. Like someone who's been explaining the same thing since the 90s and still can't believe people disagree. But Tyrus wasn't rude. That's what made it hurt more. He didn't shout or insult. He calmly showed how ridiculous it all was. He popped their seriousness like a balloon. He said The View spends half an hour fighting over nonsense while acting like it's life-changing TV. It's like watching philosophers argue at brunch, quoting Twitter instead of Aristotle. The longer he talked, the clearer it became. This wasn't about personal beef. It was about calling out the fake empowerment, the forced outrage, the fake moral talk disguised as conversation. Whoopi took it personally, of course. Because Tyrus wasn't attacking The View's people, he was describing its soul. The rule that whoever talks loudest must be right. But Tyrus, calm as ever, didn't fall for it. He just smiled and reminded everyone, real confidence doesn't need backup.
Nothing really comes to mind. I was like, Ching, listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last, they call them Hitler, they call these things, America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball to Sonny.
Then the internet blew up. Some thought he went too far. Others said he simply said what everyone was thinking. The funniest part, The View proved his point perfectly. The next day, the panel couldn't help but respond. Suddenly, they were the victims of unfair talk. They twisted themselves into knots, defending their chaos like it was structure. It was like watching someone argue why their cat should drive a car. Funny, but delusional. Tyrus knew exactly what he was doing. He dropped his words like clues and let their reactions tell the joke. While they acted all confident, the internet replayed every eye roll, every contradiction, every fake calm moment. That's The View's issue. It loves serving truth, but hates being served any. Tyrus reminded them that real confidence doesn't ask for permission. He mocked their version of tolerance, where it only exists if you agree with them. He showed how they treat differing opinions like a disease.
Next, Joy's going to say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Monday.
You could almost hear the audience gasp, realizing maybe the Emperor wasn't wearing clothes after all. Whoopi's reaction was expected. The sigh, the tilted head, the classic, here we go again face. But under all that acting was frustration. Because for once, someone called them out and did it better than they could handle. The brilliance of Tyrus's roast was his calmness. He didn't try to dominate the moment. He let truth do the job. Every quiet line hit harder than shouting ever could. Their monologues suddenly sounded like excuses. Their laughs felt forced. Tyrus had done the impossible, made The View look small just by staying cool. He joked that The View's biggest success is making daytime TV feel like jury duty, a punishment disguised as conversation. The best part? He didn't even name names. Everyone knew who he meant. That's when you know truth at home, when denial isn't possible. Soon, social media was flooded with clips of Whoopi's eye rolls beside Tyrus's calm smile.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
The difference was hilarious, like a storm yelling at a mountain. Even people who'd never watched The View tuned in to see the chaos. That's when you know a roast worked, when it revives what it mocks. By the end of the week, it wasn't even about Tyrus anymore, but about what he revealed. Fake outrage, contradictions, and the we speak for everyone attitude that actually excludes many. He turned the mirror around, and The View didn't like what it saw. Whoopi tried to stay cool, but her tone said everything. Tyrus had hit a nerve. He reminded them that real talk doesn't need cue cards or drama. Sometimes all it takes is someone brave enough to say, "You sound ridiculous." The mic drop moment came when he summed it all up, calling The View what it truly is, a round table of contradictions powered by caffeine and self-importance. Whoopi's expression said it all. She didn't even need words. Silence spoke louder than any comeback. It was one of those moments when someone outside the bubble told the truth, and everyone inside pretended not to see the crack.
Joy, I noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
That's what makes Tyrus's calm so powerful. It forces people to listen to themselves. In the end, The View did what it always does, pretend nothing happened. But everyone watching knew something had changed. The illusion didn't work anymore. The mask had slipped. And behind it wasn't wisdom or empowerment, just noise. Tyrus walked through their storm untouched, proving that sometimes the strongest voice is the one that stays quiet. That's the beauty of it. His roast wasn't cruel, it was clear. Deep down, even Whoopi knows Tyrus calmly tore down her empire without breaking a sweat. That's the perfect ending. No noise, no cheers, just silence. The kind of silence that says, he won. Because in the comedy of modern talk shows, the funniest line is the one that leaves everyone speechless. And Tyrus, he didn't have to say much. He just let truth sit there smirking.
It doesn't matter whether you're a comedian or just a regular old person who goes about their day. You have every right. It's your birthright as an American. If you're not happy with what's going on, you're allowed to say it. If you don't like how things are going, you're allowed to say it. It is your birthright. That's part of what makes you an American. It's part of what makes us different than everybody else. And we acknowledged all of those Republicans who recognized that it's not a right or left.
Of course, The View couldn't leave it at that. They always need the last word, even when it's the wrong one. So like always, the next episode began with fake calm before the storm. You know the look, mugs raised, forced smiles, everyone acting like they didn't spend nights scrolling through Tyrus's quotes. Whoopi started with her usual slow pause, the one before she gives an unwanted lecture. They used vague phrases like some people and certain commentators, as if viewers didn't know exactly who they meant. That's when you know Tyrus hit hard, when they start speaking in code. Meanwhile, Tyrus was probably somewhere sipping coffee, unaware of the chaos on TV. The more they talked, the funnier it got. The harder they tried to seem calm, the clearer it was they weren't. They turned their own show into a parody, people loudly claiming they don't care, while spending 10 minutes proving they do.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find my friends bizarre. With a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideology.
Tyrus would have loved that. Not because it made him right, but because it proved his whole point. The View just can't let things go. It feeds on drama like kids crave attention. Messy, noisy, and impossible to ignore. You could tell Whoopi wanted to deliver one of her famous, "I've seen it all" speeches, but even she seemed tired. Maybe she realized you can't outsmart a man who fights with humor instead of anger. That's when it clicked for viewers. Tyrus didn't destroy The View by attacking it. By week's end, the show tried to act above it all, but you can't unhear the truth. Every time they talked about respectful dialogue, people just remembered Tyrus's calm roast. Their mistake wasn't responding, it was proving his point. They became the joke without realizing it. And Tyrus, still calm, still sharp, still undefeated at the art of effortless takedown. Because sometimes the loudest sound you can make is silence that everyone can hear.